Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hack Hunter, where I hunt down some of the most dogshit tattoo artists you can imagine. I'll even give you a few pointers on what to look for and what to avoid when you're hunting for a tattoo artist. So stick around, we're heading out to Oklahoma this time, and I found two artists that you're not going to want to miss. Sit back, relax, let's find some hacks. Alright, our first artist comes from Yukon, Oklahoma. So pay attention, all you Oklahomies? Yeah, Oklahomies. All you Oklahomies out there, because Miss Chevy Jackson here is actually working at a great studio, which was surprising because some of the artists that she was working with are really good. So I was kind of shocked to see her there in the mix. I have no idea how long she's been tattooing, but if I had to guess, it's her first week. So you'll see what I mean. Let's break it down. Alright, ready or not, here it comes. This is Miss Chevy Jackson, working out of Yukon, Oklahoma, at Ink Addiction Tattoo. I couldn't find their website, but you can check them out on Facebook, Ink-Addiction-Tattoo. It looks like a pretty clean studio. I was never a fan of working at studios with fish tanks, especially if they expected me to clean it, but looks like they do a pretty good job there. Anyway, you can also check her out on Instagram. She's at Chevy Jackson Tattoos. Don't bother, though. Let me save you the trip. We'll dive right into it. Here is a before picture. Some client came in with this, and admittedly, it's pretty rough. It needs to be fixed up. Whoever did this in the first place just butchered it. I don't think it was Chevy, though, because Chevy did this. Oh, my God, that is just haggard. How gnarly is that? Oh, I gotta be honest, Chevy, this did not improve. I feel like you didn't plan this out one bit. Look at all this kind of scraggliness on the feathers, no intentional texturing or anything, just kind of lazily whipped it all in there. I can tell she has a real hard time applying colors. All of it just kind of looks patchy. No blending, just one solid tone of red on the lips. That's why it looked flat and cartoony. I am not sure what she was going for here, but man, this one got worse. And to be honest, I feel bad for this person wearing it. Oh, man. Moving on, here's one where she was covering up a cross and a rose. You can see she's got the purple stencil on here. Looks like she's just going to do some more roses. Kind of simple, cartoony roses. Let's see how she did. Oh, rough. It's just heavy, blotchy color. Oh, this thing does not breathe at all. I could tell she has a really hard time trying to figure out where those shadows should go, where the dark colors versus the light colors should go. Looks like she did a little bit better job here, and you can see there's like a dark magenta, dark pink to light pink, but the rest of it all looks just really flat, not really 3D looking. You can tell her coloring overpowered her line work. That means that she's really not applying the line work properly, but also the color she's coloring over top of her lines, which is dulling it out. But man, overall, this is just as rough as it gets. It's so hard to tell what that is, just as a standalone. Yeah, that's a nightmare. I'm not sure if she was going for watercolor or what it was, but these pinks and blues, they just do not blend well. It's difficult for any artist to blend pinks into blues, but especially over a cover-up, but man, she should not have attempted it. Moving on, here's another example. She does the same thing, just with these really heavily saturated colors, or flowers where there's just no room to breathe, but they just don't really look, for as large as they are, there's just no real detail or anything. Let me zoom in on these leaves. These are giant. These are at least 2 inches each, and this is just such a lazy way of doing it. Look at this just simple line down the middle. No texturing on the outside, no nothing, no detail. Also, she does something that I constantly harp about. You guys aren't going to know this unless you zoom in, but you can see on these points how there's a dot on each of these points. There's a dot here, dot there. That's because instead of starting the line up here and dragging it down and whipping it out to the point, starting one here, whipping it out, she starts at the point. And when she lowers her needle down to touch right there, it pauses for just an extra few seconds, and that's what causes that blur at the end. And I saw that throughout her tattoos a lot of times. You got those little dots on the end there. And that's something when you're looking for an artist, you gotta zoom in. You gotta look for little stuff like that. Here's the backside of that same piece. You can tell this is healed. You can see this glossiness up here. This means that she really overworked the skin. This glossiness is scarring usually. Even though it's a mild scarring, it's definitely scarring. And yeah, a lot of her work was coming out like this just because you can tell she probably wasn't professionally trained. She didn't have an artist that continually worked with her to make sure she wasn't doing this before he, sent her out into the world to work as a professional. Here's some of her gray work. In case you guys were wondering, it does not get much better. But the one thing with the gray work is I can zoom in on the line work and see how beat up it is. You can see where she tried to go over it multiple times to smooth it out. And in the world of tattooing, we all kind of try our best to do the single pass line. You go over it one time. Your machine has enough ink in it, the needle set is at the proper depth, and you just run one smooth line. It's very difficult to do. It takes years of experience, but You can tell that she has not gained that experience yet because she's doubling, tripling over these lines to fix them. But that's not even the worst of her problem. She's got this scratchy technique coming out of this shading. This is not intentional, this sort of dotted scratchiness that you see here. This is just the speed of her machine is running at not equal to the speed of her hand. So this usually means her machine is running too slow. That's how come I can see each individual dot here. It's because her hand is whipping this out, but the machine's not running fast enough. And she's taking a shortcut by just trying to whip it in there real quick. And it just comes out real choppy and scratchy looking like that. Definitely not a desirable effect. And oh my god. Oh, come on. I know this one is meant to look kind of it's a horror piece. It's meant to look terrifying, but man, that is gonna haunt my dreams. Oh no, Cobra Kai, this could have been a badass tattoo. Strike first, strike hard. Yeah, unfortunately, I think she was trying to do another cover-up. I think I can see something behind there. And, yeah, even when it's solid black as a cover-up, she just misses the mark because look at all these areas, like right here, where the black doesn't even come up to the line. The red doesn't come up to the line. Black doesn't come to the line. This is just her not being familiar with the tips of her needles, how far out they are, where they're at. When that ink starts to blur on the skin, we can't see our needle depth anymore. We can't see the tip of our needle. You just need to know it. As an artist, you need to know where it is. You have to do it by feel. And you can tell that she was kind of scared to get up close to those lines. But that aside, man, she just butchered the black. You can see all these light spots in there. Solid black filling is relatively simple as long as you have patience, which looks like she just kind of whipped through it too fast. Chevy, I'm going to be honest, you got to stop doing cover-ups. They are not your forte, but ultimately that's the least of your problems. You got to find somebody to teach you. You got to find a better apprentice. I know you're working around some great artists. Some of those guys I looked at, their portfolios at the studio, they know what they're doing. They got way better application techniques. Sit down with them, have them watch you, have them figure out what you're doing wrong and how to break some of these bad habits you built up. But, moving on, all you Oklahomies, stick around. I found an incredible artist in Oklahoma City. You're not going to want to miss it. Here he is, Jake Kilpatrick. Here's this champion among men. Let me show you what he's got going on. He works at Western Avenue Tattoo. You guys can check him out, westernavtattoo.com. Pretty simple website. I was kind of surprised, but their work speaks for itself. You can check out his Instagram, jakegilpo.inc. Amazing Instagram. I found myself going back years on his timeline, just blown away by some of this artwork. Please go check him out, you guys. Here is some of his floral pieces, and I want to kind of compare this to what Chevy was doing and show her this is how you saturate full color without it looking way overblown and not able to breathe. In this one you can see he's using these light edges and these lighter tones of red to really clarify where the edge of these petals are, and that's very, very important when you're doing wall-to-wall color like that. You have to let it breathe. You have to have some light and some dark. And also his use of black in here is another thing. You use a lot of black, and that's another important factor. You got to use really dark darks, really light lights, and that's how you get that 3D effect. Something that Chevy was just missing. She used a lot of just medium tones throughout, and it creates that flat look. Look at this incredible tiger. I want to zoom in on this texture that he did with the coloring in this nose here. That is just brilliant and very, very important that he puts that there. It makes the piece on a whole new level. Just this little bit of texturing in the nose there. He could have easily just used single blending colors in here, but he chose to create this little hair texture. Just makes it a whole new piece. Just incredibly done. This one, look at how smooth this shading is on the cheeks here. This just blows my mind, especially when you're doing wall-to-wall saturated color like this, to create such smooth blends in here with the rosy cheeks and then the bags under the eyes. Just brilliant. Brilliant use of color. He's really got his color blending down. He's not traumatizing the skin. You can tell you're not seeing that glare effect that you got with some of Chevy's work, and that's very important. He knows how to do this thick saturated color, and it's going to heal this way. It's going to stay this way. Unbelievable. Wow. Look at the depth in there, in the ridge of his eyebrows and the bridge of his nose there. Just incredible depth. He's just really, really good at this. Look at just this little edging on the cloak right here on the hood. Just that attention to small detail. He makes it look really effortless. Man, going through his portfolio made me feel like I was a beginner. Like I don't know nothing, because some of this stuff, just the texturing, the time, and the discipline that he puts into these to give it these effects. This is what you want in a tattoo artist, you guys. And I don't care if you have to wait a year to get in with somebody like this. It's worth it. Not only do you get to keep a tattoo for the rest of your life, but you have to keep it for the rest of your life. So it doesn't matter when you get it. So it's worth the wait. When you find an artist this skilled, that knows what they're doing, the outcome's going to be guaranteed good, it's worth the wait. Here is a piece that I would not have done. I would have passed on this one. This is just unbelievable how small his face is in here, and this incredible detail, the shading that he got off the gosh, I don't know what you call that, the guard on the helmet there. You can see it casts a shadow on his face. That's just incredible. Some of these small details that I think some artists would just skip. The way that he blended the flames right off of that skin tone, but still kept the detail crisp. He used enough dark and light variants that you can still see where everything blends off of each other. It doesn't blend together and kind of trick your eye. It's really crisp, really clean. This one, oh my gosh. This looks like a fucking sticker. Unbelievable. I would like to see how this one healed to see if it keeps that vibrance, but I know when he's using these sort of color theory tricks, this pink glare off the edge here, that's just unbelievable. So I know that even if this tattoo fades over time, using those sort of little tricks and the high contrast black in the backdrop, that means it's always going to look vibrant just because of how he used his color theory techniques here. And again, the attention to detail on each one of these cracks is just uncanny, unbelievable. Shockingly good work. And here is another one I can't even fathom. I'm not sure if this is a custom design or if this is off of something, but if somebody came to me wanting something with this much detail crammed together, I probably would have had to take up the kid's whole back to get that amount of detail in such a small area. Well, I shouldn't say small area, it's his whole shoulder blade, but I'm saying that's how intense a detail it is, because he did it with half the back. I would have needed the whole back. This is just incredible, this sort of space whips that he did through the portal here. Unbelievably clean work. Again, I'd like to see this healed because, yeah, some of the color theory he used, using these pastel tones, but still making it look vibrant and rich, just unbelievable work. I'm completely blown away by it. Jake, please keep doing what you're doing, man. I hope I can send some more people your way in Oklahoma. You're making the rest of us look good, man. Thanks for doing what you do. Alright, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching the show. Make sure you subscribe because we put out new episodes every week. Also, hit the bell button so you get notified every time we post a new episode. So when we come to your city, you'll be sure to catch it. Thanks again. I'll see y'all next week.